Are you ready, nigga? Nigga, awful lot of noise back there. That nigga Rebecca done fucked around and took out the ice cube trays.
Man, I want one of those old school silver ones. You know what I'm talking about?
Nope.
The old school silver ones where you can put it in the freezer and you pull it back.
Nope.
You have no idea what I'm talking about.
I don't know what the hell it is that you're talking about, buddy.
Yeah, you have these old school metal, kind of like metal like ice cube trays. When you fill it up with water, put it in the freezer, and a handle in the middle.
Yeah.
Ice for you.
Yes.
I'm trying to start this song, so I'm trying to read his green beans on.
This nigga.
Right.
Did you not take hold yet? Say so. I'm gonna just put these beans on to get Niagara take hold.
Right. Well, yeah, I'm ready. I just had to turn the green beans on.
Finally, thank you, Jesus. All right. Well, we'll get started. We might as well anyway, so we can get this little show on the road. Welcome to the 10th episode. Yes, the 10th episode. The 10th episode of the Socially Conscious St. Louis podcast. We finally made it to 10. Lucky number 10. Yes, indeed. We finally made it. We not canceled yet.
Yay.
Oh, wait. That's right. Because it's mine and mine alone. So, therefore, there is no canceling here. But today, we are here half cocked and half bootleg because the internet, for some reason, decided not to work today. So, I got Rebecca Quarles on the telephone line, and hopefully this pussy-ass microphone pick everything up pretty decent. So, how you doing today, Becky?
I'm ignorant. I am fine. Today was a decent day, man. I did absolutely much of nothing, to be honest. I really didn't do much.
That's what's up.
That's about it, man.
That's what's up, man. I'm your host, your benefactor, your God, you puny creatures. I am King David. And I ain't been on nothing, man. Just been on that grind. Been pulling them double action triggers this week. Been getting that OT. Yes, indeed. Got to fight with these people on the damn truck because I don't think they have no intentions on fixing it. So when I'm off Friday, I'm just going to go down there and like, hey, I ain't got my shit fixed. Give me my battery and my keys, and I'll drive it back home.
What are they saying now? Have you heard from them?
I ain't heard from them since I went down there last Monday. Or the Monday before last, whatever it was. But I'm off Friday because Saturday's my birthday, and I wasn't gonna come in on Saturdays. And I was like, fuck it. I might as well just work them little 9 hours, get that out the way. And if she decided to throw me a little double action trigger like she did yesterday, I might go ahead and take it because the brother could use the money. I ain't got the money to turn up for my birthday this year. And even if I did, I'd rather invest it into my business. So I'm not going to be doing much, nothing extravagant. I know it sounds lame, sounds boring as fuck, but it is what it is, nigga. When you have bigger goals and things in mind that you want to do, sometimes there's a sacrifice that must be paid. It's a chick, her name Tia Dalma. Well, her character's name is Tia Dalma in Pirates of the Caribbean. And in the third one, she has this line. She says, for what you want most, there's a cost that must be paid. So I want to get this business up and going, get this truck going, get the LLC and do all this other stuff. Because for real, the truck's kind of the whole crux of the situation. Once I get the truck going and all of the other stuff, then I can start getting everything else in place. But it is what it is, nigga. It is what it is. That's life, man. That's life. And that's what I want most. So that could be the best birthday present. You know, if anybody gonna shoot me some cabbage for my birthday, I would greatly appreciate that.
Stupid.
The stickiest of the icky, some moon rocks, some sun rocks, some dabs, whatever. If not, fuck y'all. I don't need y'all to celebrate my little pussy ass birthday, anyways.
So you gonna cuss them out and ask for a favor all in the same breath?
Well, you see, it is the cracker who's stopping me from getting to school.
You're stupid.
Right, anyways. Well, last week, if anybody listened to last week, listen to episode 9, we started off on Monique and her personal issues with Netflix.
Yeah, she's still going with the tomfoolery.
And the only reason why we finna be talking about Monique again, straight out the gate, like it was Fairmont Park or something with the horses, like, because Monique been wilding this week, man. I thought like last week, okay, we'll talk about it, then we'll move on. But your girl just can't seem to keep her mouth out of the media. So, Rebecca, what new news have you heard about Monique and her Netflix situation? Anything new?
See, David, what you gotta do is, man, this whole Netflix thing has kind of spun out of control. The guy, who I think his name is John, I'm not saying it right. I know I'm not saying his name right. But the guy who did make them the initial offer did come out and state that Monique was in fact lying, and that they did not offer her $500,000. They initially offered her $3 million, and she became upset and stated that basically that was not enough. And then start going on with these antics about Dave Chappelle, Amy Schumer, yada 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 yada. And old boy pulled receipt in regards to that, in regards to what was going on. He did a whole video about it and literally put her on blast about it. So right now, a lot of people are up in arms because at first when people was coming out against Monique, I saw some stuff with like this, and I hate to say it like this, but that's how I feel. The conscious community, or as I say it, the so-called conscious community, depending on how you feel about that. But they stated, and don't get me wrong, let me just clarify this. I don't have any issue with the conscious community. I'm just saying some of y'all niggas ain't woke. Y'all try to act like y'all ain't, but you ain't. But whatever. I got good. Seeing people from, a lot of people from those communities and the black communities basically just saying like, oh, y'all wrong, for not supporting Monique, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And they were kind of attacking like a lot of the YouTubers that was coming out and had something to say about it, and people that were doing articles and stuff like that about it. And then when this news broke, it was like, oh, them niggas had to eat their words. So like, everything that everybody was saying from jump was 1,000% correct. I agree with Tony Rock when he said that one of the worst things that you can do is be watching somebody's pockets. Why are you counting their money? Well, and then a lot of people was coming out against Wanda Sykes. The guy Juwan, he had to come in and say no. When Wanda Sykes made that comment, she was stating, hey, we here at Netflix, or them here at Netflix, offer me this amount. I just turned it down, but decided to just move on from it. And it's like, it's a way you handle business. A lot of Monique's issues is that people ain't trying to mess with her like that because it's also come out like why she's trying to, speak against Netflix and speak against Juwan. I think his name is Juwan Harris. Don't quote me. I know his first name is Jawn or Jawan or something like that. So I don't know if I messed it up. I'm sure I did.
Juwan.
But they were pretty much saying how he was pretty much saying how the culture of not culture, but basically the word on the street is that she's difficult to deal with, her and her husband. are both difficult to deal with. And they believe that her husband is messing up a lot of business deals for her. They think that she would get a lot further if she didn't have her husband, because her husband tries to argue a point. She's looking at it like, oh, he's looking out for my best interest, and she's steady throwing herself in the fire. But it's like you're not doing it correctly. If you didn't like what Netflix offered you, you could have just respectively turned it down and did what everybody else did, walk away. Why did you have to come on there? It's almost like if you're a kid and you got two kids and you give one kid a bowl of food and you give another kid a bowl of food, and the first kid goes, well, how come she got more than me? You understand what I'm saying? That's the type of behavior that was represented to me when she did the whole Netflix thing. And I tried to look past the sister, because even I said on the last video, I said, if she's doing this with the intentions of she's really being mistreated, and if she's doing this with the spirit of other people are being mistreated, then I can agree with that.
Precious Mammy.
I can't agree with
the
it.
spirit of Precious Mammy.
No, that was wrong. I'm talking about mistreatment as far as like, if it was really something as far as people were being racist towards her or discriminatory towards her, and she's witnessed that act, like she's witnessed that happen to other people. Like she approached this situation as if somebody was really doing her wrong, and they were doing other people wrong at Netflix. And it's like, oh, you want everybody to boycott, but then now it comes out like you was just on some nonsense the whole time. From the beginning of it, and I'll end it with this. From the beginning of it, I was kind of 50-50 on it, because I'm like, I don't really like the way that she did it, because she came from a monetary standpoint of, well, they're not giving me this, so y'all should boycott. But then you try to give your people a benefit of the doubt and say, if she's really doing this with the spirit of, hey, they really did me wrong, and maybe there's some other underlying issues that we don't know that haven't hit the surface as to why she did it the way she did it, that I can kind of understand it, but I don't agree with it. And that was my stance on it. Now I just think she on some dumb stuff. She just being a spoiled kid, and her career is going to be ruined because her and her husband are going to be the demise of her career. I'll end it with that.
Yeah, did you see the video? Her husband was crying and shit.
I didn't see the video where her husband was crying, but I did see the video. Yeah, I did see another video where this other girl was talking about Monique and all that kind of stuff. So I did see the video, but I didn't see the video where he was crying.
Yeah, she, brothers and sisters, it's your girl Mo. Nigga started crying and shit. I'm like, bro, why is you crying?
What did he say? Like, why
I don't know, nigga. Like, you know, I'm an Aquarius, so we have a low tolerance for bullshit. So as soon as I started hearing bullshit, I turned it off. I seen that nigga started crying, I turned that shit off, which, you know. So you Capricorns is too nice. It's Aquarius is, nigga, we like OT Genesis, nigga. We cut it, cut it, cut it, cut it, cut it. You want too much bullshit. I had to cut you out of my life. That's how we do. But yeah, man, nigga was crying. And I was like, another black man crying on national television. Well, internet, but national television. Whatever, nigga. Like, then, you know, your girl was arguing with Rolly, the Boule Bird Martin.
Yeah, I saw what one said.
I didn't even click the link. I just shared it to my Facebook page. I'm like, look at this heifer here. And you know what? It gets to a certain point where I don't even want to hear or view anything else you got going on because you be on too much BS.
Yeah, she reaching. She was reaching when she came down.
She was reaching from Jump Street.
Yeah, true.
Monique was reaching from Jump Street, dog. For real. Because, well, Netflix offered me $500,000. And I thought that was disrespectful. First of all, why are you letting everybody else know what you getting paid? Like, that kind of ruins your chances of going somewhere else, because they be like, oh shit, if Netflix offered you 500,000, we definitely gonna offer you less than that. Because as far as money is concerned, Netflix got the most money out here as far as, like, places where you go shop your special. But again, I wouldn't have no problem with Monique kicking over tables and turning over rocks, and we didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us. I wouldn't mind it as much if you took the Damon Dash approach. Damon Dash can be an asshole. He can be overbearing. He could be headstrong. Probably, I probably see a lot of myself in Damon Dash. You know what I mean? But speaking in terms of finance and business and the mind state called fuck it. What are you doing? Chopping up fruits and vegetables back there?
I was stirring my tea.
Say, Rebecca got a whole fish market back there.
Oh, yeah, fish market. Shut up.
They cutting heads off of fish and shit. But yeah, anyways. You could be cocky and you could be the best if you're actually the best. I don't mind Dame Dash clowning motherfuckers. But Dame Dash do shit for Dame Dash. Inside the music business, outside the music business, clothing, just business in general, Dame Dash is that guy. Let me see. Jason Black is that guy. Jason Black, independent films. Through Black Channel Films. Tariq Nasheed, his movies through King Flex Entertainment. Hell, who else out here? There's a whole lot of folk out here doing their independent, thorough thizzle out here. You know what I mean? I just get tired of people like Monique who always want to play up on the heartstrings of everybody, but yet you don't want to take the personal initiative to do what's best for you. Now, prime example. This week, I was working at Wellston. Okay. And this kind of goes hand in hand with this other subject we got, taking responsibility for one's action in business, life, and safety. So it all kind of ties in with this whole Monique situation. So I was at Wellston, and, I was talking to this security guard. I forget what company he worked for, but, they have the St. Louis County Training Center over there on Sutter, which is like the next street over from Plymouth. That's where you get all your St. Louis County security training, police training at code, man. Fire department training. So I talked to this dude for a little while. Seen him, later on that afternoon after he got out of class. Came back down, and it was him and this other security guard. One's a black dude, one's a white dude. And they was talking about how there's like no industry standard in the security business, and Regis might be able to attest to this. There's like no industry standard for like training or hours that you need to get trained. Like, there's no standard for getting like your Mason baton. You can just basically get your security license and do what you want to do, and you cool. And the dude they was kind of complaining like, oh, we need a union and we need this and da 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 da. I'm like, okay, I see what you're saying. I understand what it is that you're saying. There should be an industry standard in security. There should be a base level pay rate for security, especially in some jobs where you in an extra dangerous ass neighborhood or location, but they don't want you to carry your firearm. And this is some stuff that I have heard from other security guards. Cause like this one dude, he worked at Vijon, which is just east of Wellston. And Vijon, like, it kind of sits in the middle of an industrial park. There's like a little apartment building right there. And it's kind of like right in the middle of nowhere. Like, you know, it's one of them places where you probably don't want to go walking through there when it's dark because you never know who hiding in the shadows and could basically come out and rob you. That's basically how it is. You know what I mean? So he was like, man, I'm down here. This place is dangerous as fuck. He like, I ain't even armed. He like, but what they don't know, he like, I got my own shit just in case something comes up. I was like, yeah, I feel this was another dude. But anyways, I was like, yeah, okay, I understand what you're saying, but you don't have to wait on somebody to do something that you should do. That's always my thing. Whether you believe in God, whether you don't believe in God, you know, it doesn't matter. Why are you waiting on somebody else to do something that you should do? If you know the trash needs to be taken out in the house, take out the trash. If you know your grass need to be cut the grass before your old lady say something to you. If you know the oil change need to be changed in the car, take the car on up there and get the oil change or change it yourself. So, like I was saying, I was like, well, I have my baton. Well, I don't have a baton. I have baton training. So, if I ever chose to get a baton, I can legally carry it with my security license. I'm also armed and I also have pepper spray. So I took the baton class and the OC class. I'm locked and loaded and ready to go. But dude kept on harping like, man, they don't even give us the proper training and blah, 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 blah. I get it. They're not going to give you the proper training, but when you go down to St. Louis County, they have all the classes posted right there. When I got my armament, they was like, hey, do you want to take the pepper spray class and the baton class? It's like X amount of dollars, whatever. I was like, yeah. I think it ended up costing me like less than $75 for both classes. So, like, you just got to do what you got to do, man. What's best for you. You ain't got to wait on somebody to do something that you should do. Now, parallel to that, on the civilian side, I was doing another one of them double action triggers at Rock Road the other day. Double action trigger is a double, for those of you who don't understand the new lingo that I'm coming up with. So when I say double action trigger, that means that I'm working a double for Whitey Locks. So I was down at Rock Road. I was working a double action trigger. I was really just filling in, waiting on this other dude to come after he got out of court, but the nigga never even ended up showing up to work. So I ended up working till like close to 9:30. So this white girl comes up to me and she was like, well, hey, did you see that guy that just got on the train? I was like, no. She's like, oh, okay, I was wondering if there's anything that you can do. Like, he's sexually harassing me. He's following me around, following me on the trains and this, that, and the third. Blah, 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 blah. She's like, I don't really feel safe. Honestly, if I had a car, I wouldn't even ride the Metrolink, blah, blah, blah. You know, females, they're going to have to go into a whole sob story, which It's not a big deal. That's how women talk. So, but yeah, she was just going on, on and on. So, long story short, I was like, well, there's nothing that we can do unless he actually assaulted you or something on the train to where they can get it on camera. And then you can report it and they can pull the hard drive and blah, 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 blah. Say, oh, I don't know what to do. I go to school at Forest Park and all this other stuff. I just want to make it to my destination and go home safely. I was like, okay. And I had this conversation with another white woman a couple months ago. She asked me if it was safe to ride the Metrolink. And I said, well, it's relatively safe. Basically the same thing that I told the other little white girl. I was like, it's relatively safe. And when you tell people that something is relatively safe, they tend to get a little bit nervous. Because they want to hear it's safe. Well, I can't tell you it's safe. I'd be lying to you. I can't even tell you it's safe to walk out your front door. Like, as soon as you walk out your front door, you might get stung with a bee. Or not stung with a bee, stung by a bee. That's why you look both ways before you cross the street. And then niggas like me, I look both ways like twice, 3 times. Especially if it's like a busy intersection, I'm constantly looking both ways to see which way the cars is coming. Because you never know. And this is the way I explain it. I said you never know. I said safety and security should be your number one priority. And I know we discussed this last week a little bit talking about arming yourself. I say safety and security should be your number one priority. It should be your number one concern. You should not let somebody take your safety into their own hands. Security's here, there's police officers, there's PSOs, but we can only do so much. We can only do so much, and then there's the time between something happens to you and then the time that somebody responds. So the thing about it is that could be anywhere from a few seconds to a few hours, a few minutes. You never know. So, like I had suggested to the white girl the other day, I was like, well, what I suggest that you do, because I'm a fair person, I like to give people sound advice. One of the things that makes me so great as an Aquarius is the fact that we can take ourselves out of a situation and try to look at things from both perspectives. So like I told her, I said, what you should do, I said, and this is what I suggest. On the low end, go get you some pepper spray. She's like, well, I didn't think that we could carry those. I'm like, yes, you can. I see women with pepper spray all the time. It's just you don't notice because their pepper spray is in like a cute little pink case or purple or lime green. But I see women all the time got little cans of pepper spray on their person. So I was like, what I suggest on the low end, spend you about $15, get Sabre red pepper spray gel. And that's what I have. That's what I use. I've never actually had a chance to use it on somebody, although I have been waiting. Because it is some badass shit. But what I told her, I was like, get you I said, this is what I recommend. Get you the red pepper. Get you the Sabre red pepper gel spray. It's good in closed areas. It doesn't have an odor to it. It's not going to choke up anybody. So if you're on the train or if you're on the bus, it's not going to mess with the rest of the people on the train. It's perfectly safe. And what it is, it's a gel and it sticks to you. And once it sticks to you, it immediately starts to run, and then it burns your eyes, your skin, and you start asphyxiating. Asphyxiation means you have a hard time trying to breathe. So it's a triple threat.
Saying like that just sounds like something that could be a liability eventually. But go ahead.
Yeah, but you're talking about your safety. And I mean, it's something that the police cadets have to get sprayed by. So it's not like you're not going to get sprayed by it and you're going to die. It's just a thing where you want to be able to protect yourself. And honestly, if you get into a situation, they're not going to die. They're just going to have a hard time trying to breathe. It's basically going to, like, subdue them. Unless they on some drugs or something. If you hit somebody with this shit, they're going to be disoriented. They're not going to know where to go, what the hell is going on. None of that. So, I was like, on the low end, I suggest you get this. This is what the St. Louis County training officer recommended, because this is what he uses. This is what his wife uses. He keeps it in his cars. He keeps it on his person. He actually tried to get St. Louis County to switch over to using the Sabre Red Pepper gel, but, you know, with big police departments and paperwork and all of those other stuff, you know, it's something that has to be issued for all officers across the board, and they didn't want to do that. So, but I was like, on the high end, I suggest you get yourself a gun. It's like, well, I didn't think we could carry those on the train. I was like, well, you're technically not supposed to, but again, we're talking about your safety here. If you feel like you have just cause to use necessary force, like deadly force, then you feel that way. Shoot. Because again, your responsibility is to make it home at the end of the day, or make it to where you want to go safely. And besides, nobody will ever know. I said, if you get you something that's small, concealable, it's lightweight, it's not going to make a print, you can carry it in your pocket, whatever. And honestly, nobody's going to know unless you say something. St. Louis County might come by. As long as you got your ticket, they're not going to check you. You cool, get it registered to you. And I was like, that's what I suggest. You know what I mean? Take safety and security into your own hands. Take your fate into your own hands. Oh boy, what's the name? Leonidas from the 300 could have waited on Xerxes to come destroy his city. But the nigga was like, nah, I'm gonna go over here with these 300 men and we gonna go put in some work. You know what I mean? Leonidas did not wait on the Persians to get there so he could just give up and be like, well, Xerxes, I really would appreciate if you didn't destroy my city. Nah, that nigga was like, nah, fuck that. I'm going to go fight this nigga. So, bringing that back to Monique. Monique, you know them people don't fuck with you. I appreciate Monique for all the positive, uplifting black stuff that she has done. But what have you done for me lately? You pop up, you're complaining, you're lying on people, you're stirring up shit, you're stirring up more shit, and then you wonder why people don't want to fuck with you. And then you steady bringing up old news and steady talking on Oprah and Lee Daniels. Let that alone. Let it go. You only hurting yourself by constantly speaking on the hurt that everybody else did to you. I done had motherfuckers hurt me. I done had so-called friends steal from me. But am I going to constantly harbor on that? No. Now, if I see you in that streets, it might be like that. Might be like that. I'm not saying it is or it isn't, you know. Just in case the feds get a hold of this podcast. I don't want to incriminate myself. Allegedly. If I see you in the streets, I'm going to holler at you about what it is that you owe. But you people don't fuck with you, Mo. Go ahead, do your own thing, baby. But you don't want to do that because that involves too much work. And I think that is one of our biggest problems, especially in this new age fangled technology generation. I believe we're moving into the age of Aquarius, which is the age of information. But a lot of people are so-called stupid, man. A lot of people are just so stupid. You got all this technology, but you about dumb as a box of rocks. How does that work? You can say what you want about Soulja Boy. He may be a fake blood. He may be this and that and the third. But Soulja Boy was the first nigga to pop off the internet. Soulja Boy came out with them dances and them videos, the Crank That videos and all this other stuff. Back when MySpace was popping, back in like 2002, 2003, when MySpace was popping. Dude put his little stuff out there, and that's how he got signed. Nicki Minaj is the same way. Nicki Minaj was popping on Instagram. And she used her mixtapes and her videos and stuff that she shot to shop herself a deal. So they put in the work. Maybe if Monique puts in the work, she'll find some sponsors later on down the line. It's kind of like this podcast, nigga. We putting in the work now, so maybe we will have some sponsors later on down the line. Maybe. But hell, I might just sponsor the damn thing myself. I just might have my company sponsor the podcast. Could do that. Might do that. That's an idea. But anyways.
And it kind of looks like she's doing what I've been talking about since episode 1. Why are you pushing so hard to have acceptance from people who really, and I'm not saying it's their fault, but like, why are you trying so hard for these niggas to say, pick me, when you can go out and create your own imprint into the world? Why are you waiting on them? If they didn't offer you what you wanted, you should have just moved on and did your own thing, create your own imprint. People like the other comedians like Corey Holcomb, Freeze Love, Grady, people like that. I like them because regardless of what movies they've been in, regardless of what shows they've done, the Handshake Shake award shows they've gone to, etc., like they still come out and mess with their core audience, and they're authentic. Monique's problem is you started out with your core audience, but then you became Hollywood. Hollywood only like white people, and they barely like white people. They really only like niggas with money. And I ain't talking about niggas like them black folks. I'm talking about, nigga, you are not important to them. You are not imperative to them. They don't need you. You need them. Period. You are not what's hot on the streets. At the end of the day, Charlamagne the God was 1,000% right, and he got a lot of heat from this on the video on YouTube as well as on Instagram. People was giving Charlamagne the God heat because he said at the end of the day, it's about numbers. What numbers are you producing? You ain't out here selling out shows. You're not a hot commodity right now, so they paid you accordingly. And you lucky you got $3 million, because for real, you want to be for real, with the type of heat and drama that Monique and her husband Sydney bring to the table, they should have offered her $500,000. I'm just saying, if we want to base it off of the fact that you are a problem, not just with the white community, but with the black community. Matter of fact, forget the white community. Let's just talk about the black community. You are a problem with the black community, and you ain't really been touring like that. Like, you can do little shows here and there, but at the end of the day, you're not a hot commodity right now. You want to sit here and say, well, I have tenure here and I've been in the business. Well, you know the business don't work like that. You've been in the business for over 20 years, and you mad because you feel like you have seniority. Well, you know Hollywood don't give a damn about seniority. Not unless you've been hot for over 20 years, then they'll consider your seniority. But you ain't had no seniority with nothing. Nothing at all. It's almost like you sat here and left your core audience You sold out on your core audience for Hollywood, which you admitted, by the way. And then on top of that, like, you ain't been selling out no shows and this and that, and you a problem. You can't have no rap sheet like you have and want Kevin Hart money. And I'm not saying that Kevin Hart is better than her. But what I am saying is you have a lot of problems and issues that are attached to you. Kevin Hart, regardless of, Kevin Hart can shit on somebody's foot right now and will not lose one endorsement. Because he branded himself that way. His people around him, who he surrounded himself, branded themselves that way. You and your husband are a problem, and you ain't meeting the numbers, and you think somebody's supposed to pay you. Like, maybe if you would have sat there and just said, okay, thank you, but no thank you, and you moved in silence, and you make them niggas come beg you. They offer you $5 million at some other point, and you can say no, thank you, and they come back and offer you $50 million deal because you done made your own imprint, and the people want to see you that much. And Netflix is like, damn, we probably should have casted her. So make them put them in a position where they have to come beg for you and pay you more money.
You don't need Netflix though. You don't need Netflix.
She don't need it, but it's just the fact that, like, you put yourself in a position where them niggas need you and you don't need them.
See, it's like
like you need them niggas.
Look, I was watching a video of it's this dude. His name is Brother Ben X. Smart young brother, very smart. He looked up Monique's Instagram followers and Twitter followers and added all it up. She got a couple 100,000 on each. So I think she got like
200,000 on Facebook.
Huh?
She has 246,000 on Facebook. So between those three, you still under 1 million followers, and you've been in the game for over 20 years.
Nigga, slow your roll, nigga. There's a story to be told before you start going off about Monique. So, anyways, Brother Ben X added up all of Monique's followers. And he did the math. He was like, basically, if Monique was to film her own special and come out with it herself for $10 a piece, let's just say she has 500,000 followers across all her social media pages. For $10 a piece, 500,000, that's $5 million. So long story short, if the people fuck with you, then you could get more money eating outside of there. Nigga, I get more money cutting lawns for myself. If I work for somebody else, they might give me $9, $10 to cut grass for them. Nigga, I cut grass, I'm making $25, $30, $40, $50, $60 a yard. $70, $80 a yard. That's all my money. And then I can use that money to invest back in the business. Nigga, I done cut $1 million homes and fucking $1 million properties and shit. Nigga getting paid $10 an hour. Right. So basically, if you go do your own thing, then you're not going to have no problems. That's the bottom line of it. But speaking of problems, though, your girl Erykah Badu. Know you heard about Erykah Badu. Hello?
I'm here.
Nah, nigga, I know you heard about Erykah Badu.
I have not.
Nigga. Okay. Anyways, so Erykah Badu was recently interviewed in some magazine publication, and she says that she's a humanist. She sees good in everybody. She says, I see good in Hitler. And then the dude was like, what good is there in Hitler? She's like, well, he was a great painter. And the dude was like, he was a terrible painter. She's like, you're right, he was a terrible painter. But he had an ugly childhood and some other stuff. So basically, everybody got mad, including black people, got mad at Monique for saying that she saw something good in Hitler. Now, I don't really have much to say per se on the subject, but I will say this. There's good and evil inside of everybody.
True.
You are born knowing right from wrong. You are born with the struggle between the higher self and the lower self, nigga. That's why you like KRS-One and then turn right back around and listen to 21 Savage murder up a whole neighborhood full of people. Because you like the higher and the lower. People was mad, and how could you say that? He murdered thousands of people. And this is what killed me. Black people do more caping for other people's shit than they do for their own shit. But anyway, that's another subject, another topic for another day. But I am not going to say that Erica was wrong. I'm not going to say I don't think she was wrong. She was not wrong. There's positive and negative inside of everybody, no matter how evil you are, no matter how good you are. There's positive and negative inside of everybody. It's how you choose to live your life. You live your life in a basis, constant ebb and flow of making positive decisions and negative decisions. And everything you do is like a boomerang, so what you do is going to come back to you. And it's going to be multiplied. So if you out here, being cool to people and this, that, and the third, then that good positive energy going to come back to you. Like, I gave this lady $1 so she can get home. Because her dollar got stuck in the machine and she didn't have enough money to get home. So I ended up giving her $1 so she can get home. She's like, oh, thank you, whatever. Like, it was such a big deal to a white lady. It was such a big deal to her. No, I think it was like $2, but it doesn't matter. She's like, oh, where can I give it back to? Do you normally work down here? I'll pay you back. I was like, nah, don't worry about it. Are you sure? I'd love to pay you back, please. I'm like, nah, don't worry about it. It's just $1 or $2. It's not a big deal. Look, I'm sorry your money got stuck in the machine. You know what I mean? So, go and get home. So, it's not a big deal. You know what I mean? And that's why I don't have problems out here. And that's like I was telling the other security guards. They was like, man, it really ain't safe out here for us security guards. And I'm like, well, I can see that. But at the same time, it's all in how you talk to people. It's all in how you deal with people. I'm the same nigga inside of work that I am outside of work. When niggas see me, the same niggas that see me in my uniform that I talk shit to on the clock is the same niggas who see me outside of uniform, and I'm the same nigga. We cool. We look, I chop it up with them, they chop it up with me. We cool, you know what I mean? They know I got a job to do. They ain't gonna cause no issues. But do I care if they out there getting their little hustle on? Nope. I don't care. Keep it quiet, bro. That's all I'm saying. They gotta blow up the spot. It don't matter, but that's how it works. You know what I mean? That's just how the game goes. There's good and bad in everybody. What was that the nigga T-Pain said? No. Well, it was T-Pain as Freaknik quoting, half quoting Martin Luther King. He said, it's a little good in the worst of us, a little bad in the best of us, and a little freak in all of us. And niggas started having church. Doom, 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 doom. Niggas say, oh, wait a minute. This is still the house of the Lord. Please make your way to the all-purpose room for the after party.
The big boy them clowns on that show. Yeah, that was crazy from that movie.
Brothers and sisters, kin folks, nieces, nephews alike. The one, the only, Freaknik. This nigga was turning old lady wheelchairs into cars and strippers and stuff. I was like, oh, you don't know. That's one of my favorite Black Hood movies, Freaknik the Musical. That was a little side note. I got that on my PlayStation. So, Rebecca,
No. Yes, sir.
Erica Badu. Now, you know Erica Badu. She got that fire yoni that make niggas put on weird ass pants and hairdos. But Erica Badu always seems on point. Is she wrong?
No, she's not wrong at all because I think it was absolute truth. I think it was an absolute truth. And I don't understand what the big deal is about. I don't understand what the conversation is about. To be honest with you, like, it's dumb. Like, why are they even worried about that? Out of all the things to be worried about, that's what niggas is worried about.
Because if you say like one good thing about somebody, especially in this day and age, people automatically think that you co-sign the rest of the fuckery that they have going on. It's like, no, it's not like that. I see a lot of good in Rolly the Boule Bird. I think he's smart. I think he is very intelligent. I think he's very strategic. I think that Brother Martin knows his stuff. But is he a buck dancing coon? Yes, he is. See how I did that? It's that simple.
I'm just not going. See how I did that?
It's true, nigga. You can say whatever you want to. You could be like, oh, I hate winter. Winter's the coldest month. It snows and it does this and it's icy and I just hate winter. And somebody else will say, well, I love winter because it snows and we can go sledding and all this other stuff. So there's always a minimum of two sides to every story. Now, me, I like to go with the narrative that there's always at least three sides to the story. There's my version, there's your version, and then there's the truth. So there's always a minimum of three sides. And then depending on what the situation was, you know, there's niggas who've seen it, there's niggas who didn't really see it and thought they seen it, and then there's the niggas who just want to get on the news and be like, yeah, I seen that shit, man. It was the craziest thing ever. Nigga ain't seen nothing. Nothing at all. But people think that you can't speak positive about individuals. Like, I can say that my childhood was fucked up because of my parents' divorce. And it was. I had my own personal issues. I was manic depressant. I was suicidal. I was all type of stuff back when my parents were going on with a divorce. Okay, but I had two parents. Other people did not have two parents. I had a father. He was not the greatest father, but there's a lot of stuff that he taught me that I appreciate to this day. But I can absolutely say that he was a whore. Hi, Pops, if you ever listening, I love you. But Dad was a hoe growing up. When I was a kid, Dad was a hoe. He really was. Dad was out here whoring around. I can't say, you know, he was a Rolling Stone per se, but he definitely got more than plenty of his share. He cheated on my mom, but, you know, there's negatives and positives and all of that situation too, because there's negatives and positives within him that I know about, and there's negatives and positives within my mom that caused them to do whatever they did, and blase, blase, blase. So there's always a negative and positive in any situation, in any person. So yes, Hitler had some good in him. What was it? I don't necessarily know. But there was something there. Take it away, Becky.
I'm still sure what she said. Sorry, Pops, if you're listening. Well, it's a lot of people that that I've come across in my life that have done a lot of things that we would consider bad, but it doesn't mean that that's all that they are. That's just a piece of what defines them. And unfortunately, in this day and age that we are living in a hypersensitive world where people feel like every little thing that you do that's wrong is who you are, and they instantly forget that you've done anything good. Or they'll mention the little one thing you did right, but then mention 50,000 things that they feel like you've done wrong.
Like Jim Brown. I hate to cut you off, and I'm going to let you finish your point. But they did that shit to Jim Brown. All that stuff Jim Brown has been doing in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s for well over 5 decades. Jim Brown been out here putting in that work. Jim Brown had the Bloods and the Crips to have I think they first ever truth. Jim Brown was about that business. And as soon as Jim Brown went to go meet with Trump, y'all calling him all type of coons and stuff. Now don't get me wrong, I heard him say some coonish things. Maybe Jim Brown is getting a little senile. No disrespect to Bobby Glanton Smith. I'm not sure. But am I going to throw out Jim Brown for saying a few little coonish things versus all the stuff that he has accomplished over his lifetime? No. You can continue.
But yeah, it's one of those things, and I agree to that too. But yeah, it's one of those things where we're living in that hypersensitive world where everything that you do wrong is front and center, and they just diminish, or they make people feel bad, or they diminish them to a place where no one, you no longer see the good that anybody has done. We live in a day and age where it is almost difficult or impossible to change. Back in the day, it used to be a time where somebody would do something wrong, but as long as they was able to prove themselves trustworthy or to be trusted, then yeah, they did this, but you can kind of move past it because you can see the change and growth and development in that person. Now we're living in a day and age where that is not so. People don't care about the fact that you can change, grow, and develop, because you got to be on and you got to be perfect all the time. But when it comes to them, they want you to understand, well, no, that's not me. I'm really a great person.
Hold up. That's not really me anymore. I'm a woman now. Speak on it.
You stupid.
That's what you just said, nigga? Well, I'm not like that. I'm a woman now.
No, I didn't even go there. You did.
But you basically saying, like, some people want you to allow them room for growth and change. I'm not a man anymore. I'm a woman. No, you're not. And you want me to accept you for your change? No, change these broken wings. No, anyway, I'm not accepting your bullshit. You could be cool. We might be able to kick it. I don't know. We might be able to go out for drink in a well-lit bar somewhere. We could be cool. Yes, a well-lit bar, preferably with a lot of people.
Oh my gosh.
Preferably mixed.
Oh my gosh,
But you want somebody to accept you for your change or your transition into the change, but you can't accept Genuine for not wanting to be with a homosexual male. Or I'm sorry, transgender.
Yeah, I knew that's where he was going.
Them trainees. Damn trainees. Even speaking of us, man, you know what? I should have called up that nigga Gooch. I should have had him on this one. That would have been it. I'm gonna call the nigga up, have him on the next podcast next week, man. Shout out to Gooch the Great, man. That's the guy.
Yeah, Gooch is everywhere, man.
Everywhere. I just told this nigga on Instagram, I'm like, bro, where the fuck you be finding this shit at? He always be posting videos and stuff with him calling in to the old 5150 show and like a whole bunch of old clips and stuff with him calling in. I'm talking about old clips with him in the background with like Tupac and Grand Poobah and all type of these rap hip hop legends. I'm like, nigga, first of all, where you be finding this shit at? And second of all, I told that nigga Gooch, I'm like, nigga, I'm gonna start calling you Waldo. Because you everywhere, but niggas can rarely find your ass.
That's true. Rarely see him.
Gooch is the nigga. He kind of like Charlie Murphy. He remind me of Charlie Murphy in this sense. Charlie Murphy was in a gang of movies before he ever got famous.
True.
Charlie Murphy was in like Harlem Nights, I think like CB3. Charlie Murphy was in a gang of movies before he ever got famous. He didn't get famous until he went on Chappelle's show. And then when you look at, when you finally realize who that nigga is, you be like, damn, I've been looking at this nigga for how many years, and that's Charlie Murphy. Woo woo wop, you see that nigga Gooch, and you see him, but you don't never know who he is. You be like, damn, I've been looking at this nigga all this time, and that's that nigga right there? That's Gooch. The nigga like, yeah, if you look, I'm behind Grand Poobah next to Tupac, and I'm like, damn, that nigga was in Boston Up. Nigga like, yeah, you know, I was in Boston Up, da-da-da-da. And I was like, nigga was in Boston Up. And it's not like I didn't believe him. I believed him. But, you know, like my pop say, trust but verify. So I have a assurance in my head when I could go check it out for myself. So I went home when I got some time, put in Boston Up. And when they got ready to have a players ball, there was that nigga Gooch. Gooch the Great, man. Blah, 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 blah. Bitch got to treat me like Stedman. I was like, oh, shit. That nigga is straight in Boston Up. This motherfucker be everywhere, but never there. He that nigga who always be in the shadow. That nigga will make a good assassin. He will make a perfect. He like one of them odd job shaped niggas. He one of them niggas. You remember Odd Job on GoldenEye, the N64 game? How that nigga never needed no weapons, but he would just come behind you and cross chop you, and you be dead. You be like, what the fuck, nigga? How did I die? Your homeboy be like, oh yeah, I just came by, I chopped her. Like, I didn't even see you.
At all.
I'd be like, damn, this nigga been around. He one of them niggas, man. He be trying to downplay his resume, but then you be like, damn, this nigga been everywhere. You gotta start asking dude, like, where you ain't been. And I'm gonna start looking for Gooch in every motherfucking old school hip hop magazine. Do I see him? Start looking for that nigga like a Where's Waldo book. Where's Gooch? Just looking in here. See if I can find this dude.
Yeah, start looking hard. Slowing the movie down.
I swear to God, that nigga be pulling up old clips from like 1992 and shit. He be like, yeah, I was back there in the right off in the corner. I be like, the fuck?
Yeah, man. Gooch got his hands in everything.
I see that. Damn, I wonder how that mobile abortion clinic's working out for him. That mobile abortion clinic. Shout out to Goose, man. That's the guy, bro. That nigga is crazy as fuck. Swear to God. But anyways, let me see. We have a few topics here by Mr. Phoenix. And he asks, what do we think of Oprah saying she doesn't have the DNA to become president in 2020? Publicity stunt or no?
I don't think it's a publicity stunt. I don't think Oprah could do it because the only reason why I think she wouldn't do it, in my opinion, is because I think it would be a situation where the black community and women, feminists more so, would have extremely high expectations of Oprah. Extremely high. And she's not going to fulfill those expectations, in my opinion. And I think the pressure will be too much from the feminist group, from the black community, because Oprah is already looked at as a mini savior, and I even think, dare I say, that the expectations for her would be higher than they were for Barack Obama. So I don't think it was a publicity stunt. I really believe that she believes that. I don't believe that she thinks that it's not in her DNA. I just don't think that in the core of who she is, that she's willing to deal with that pressure and take on all of that. Oprah's not going to do that. Oprah's going to do it. And that's my take on it.
Okay, well, when she says that she doesn't have the DNA to become president, I believe that she is telling the truth. And a lot of people don't know this, and I'm not even 100% sure myself, but I have heard this on a couple different occasions, that all of the U.S. presidents in history have all been related to each other. So Barack Obama and Trump are actually cousins. I don't know how true that is, but I've heard Kevin Barringer on Zoe's show say that a few times and some other places. I've never really looked into the research. I think it's more than possible. So for Oprah, who has that type of money, that type of status, that type of influence, if she is actually saying that she does not have the DNA strands to become president, I believe of all people she should know. She would know. I think that's what she's saying. She hasn't been born into the royal bloodline in order for her to become president, if that is actually the case. You dig what I'm saying? Could Oprah become president? No, because the white man in the Senate is not going to allow a black woman to sit in the White House that was built by black people. It's not going to happen. They're not going to let Michelle Obama in there either, nigga, so y'all can get that out the here. Oh, Michelle Obama for 2020, Michelle and Oprah. We would love to see two black women in office, and y'all niggas still don't get how this system works. You have a job. As the president, you have a job. But you have a boss. You have several bosses who tell you what you are and are not supposed to do.
True.
Bush, number 2, his job was to get people to give up their freedom. That was his job. His job was to start a bogus war using 9/11 so they can go over there and fight an endless war in Northern Africa, which is technically they call the Middle East, but it's Northern Africa. And steal Saddam Hussein's money. That was first. I worked with some Iraqis. They said Saddam was a motherfucker. They did not like Saddam, but Saddam kept the border safe from insurgents. So that's one. And these are some actual Iraqi people from Iraq. Then I knew a guy. Shout out to Dwayne Mosby. Brother told me that while he was stationed overseas, he seen like 3-4 54-foot trailers full of gold and U.S. currency that was stolen from Saddam's house. What happened to the money?
That's a very good question.
Right. So that was Bush's job. Obama's job was to open up Cuba so we can get back in trading with Cuba. His job was to get with Hillary Clinton so they can kill Gaddafi, so they can stop that gold dinar from being produced and upsetting the world's balance of currency. Obama's job was to open Africa back up to stealing the resources by the Western society, aka white people. That was Obama's job. He was the face to ease and smooth that bullshit over with the Africans because he looks the same as them. That was Obama's job. Trump's job, I don't know what Trump's job is because Trump just don't give a fuck. So
yeah, that's true.
I, kind of think they might be just letting him do what he wants to do for now until he gets out of hand, because if he gonna cause an issue, they will take care of Trump too. And by they, I mean the hidden hand behind the government is called a shadow government. The people behind the people. You know what I mean? It's just like some old oil paintings and stuff that you'll see of George Washington, all of these white people in prominence, but you'll see a black person like off to the side in the background. Those are not slaves, those are Moors. Those was the individuals who was dropping the gems on George Washington and the like. It's always that hidden hand. There's always somebody behind the seat. It's just like you could be the CEO of a company, but if your company is publicly traded on the stock market, then you have a board of investors that you have to answer to. So, do I think it's a publicity stunt that Oprah says she doesn't have the DNA? No, she probably knows something that you guys don't know. When I think she says DNA, I'm pretty sure she literally means DNA. Like, Oprah's not somebody who has never been able to articulate her words. She can articulate her words very well. So if she said DNA, I believe she said it for a reason. Now, the Boondocks did say that Oprah was going to become president in 2020. So Aaron Magruder might know something that we don't know. Because I don't know. Do you know, Rebecca? Because I don't know.
I don't know, but I know shows like.
But what you got to do is, since you got to go down, get your Moore signed certificate. You got to donate to the Omar Johnson Boy for Schools.
You're ignorant. You're ignorant for that.
I'm a descendant from Ashford and Simpson. I'm a descendant from O.J. Simpson.
I'm still there.
Oh, I ain't heard from that nigga in a minute. Well, no, I take that back. I have seen a few videos of dude talking I have seen the thumbnail for videos. I didn't actually watch them. I want to make that clear. I didn't actually watch the videos. I've seen like thumbnails on YouTube where dude was finna go in and talk reckless about Tyreek and other people. But like I say, we not finna be speaking on dude, not like that. Like after that situation, bro, I just really got tired of hearing about him. So anything that he comes out with now, I ain't watching. Like, I'm cool. Especially when you another Monique, you bitter. And I know why he's better. He's better because his hustle has slowed down to a crawl. You gonna still have a group of people who still gonna support him no matter what you still got people who attend the church after the pastor slept with old Gail in the church and had a baby, cheating on the first lady. Hashtag Luke Cage. Hashtag Willis. So you always gonna have that group of individuals who are followers and not leaders. So whatever, nigga, you know. No different than going to a church and you giving all your money to the church, but you ain't receiving nothing in return. It was like that old lady. It was an old lady. She straight got kicked out of the church because she didn't pay her tithes and offerings.
I think I read about that. Wasn't it like last year sometime?
I'm not sure. I've heard it circulate quite a while. But yeah, she got kicked out of the church. She ain't pay her tithes and offerings. So Umar ain't nothing but another church hustling, reverend, suffering, nigga. So fuck with dude anymore. I wish you the best of luck on your Marcus Garvey, Frederick Douglass church school for boys and girls and walruses, nigga. But
You stupid.
anyways, Phoenix also asks, is Tyler Perry a coon?
I want to say possibly because I don't know for sure. I don't know for sure. I would say I don't know. What are your thoughts on that one?
It's kind of complicated. It's kind of complicated, and we only had an hour and like 17 minutes, so we have plenty of time to discuss this. The thing about Tyler Perry is in his movies, he always paints a negative depiction. Well, not always, but he definitely paints a very negative portrayal of black men in some areas. And he portrays black men very great in other areas. And because trying to say this because it's actually a quite complex issue. Because on one hand, you're like, okay, he is wearing a dress, he is stereotyping, black people are like this, and da 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 da. But at the other hand, he employs tons of black peoples in his plays, his movies. He employs a bunch of black people in his studios, Tyler Perry Studios. So it's kind of hard to say. I would say on one hand, yes, Tyler Perry is a coon in the sense of you play on the heartstrings of single, bitter black women. You paint this fantasy for single, bitter black women that they can be single and bitter, and then, you know, niggas just gonna come by and treat them good and come up like Russell and Sierra, like, And I like his movies. I got, like, all his older plays, like Medea Family Reunion, Class Reunion. I haven't watched them in Hellas, but I haven't watched a lot of movies in Hellas. But is Tyler Perry a coon? Yeah. Somewhat yes, somewhat no. Like I say, man, it's kind of one of those things where Tyler Perry getting his money, and he literally pulled himself up by his bootstraps. He was sleeping in his car, and he was homeless, and then everything. So it's kind of hard to say, man, whether or not he's a coon. I say he has coonish tendencies based off of what he built his platform off of. But is Tyler Perry necessarily a coon? No. I would say he has coonish tendencies. Lady Q?
I guess I can understand that. I would have liked to know if he saw him as a coon. Like how if Phoenix saw him as a coon.
No, Phoenix is not really pro-black. So, I don't know. But it was his question, so I don't know. Brother Phoenix, I know you're listening. Do you think Tyler Perry is a coon? I believe the question was, do you think he's a coon like Steve Harvey? Is he a coon like Steve Harvey? Hell no.
I don't know.
Now nobody coon like Steve Harvey now. Nobody coon like Steve Harvey. Steve, I don't give a damn about Omarosa and slavery at the same damn time, Harvey. I will say though, the nigga Steve is funny on Family Feud. I'm not gonna lie. That nigga facial expressions be killing me. This nigga be looking like, what the fuck did these people just say? Like it's one Family Feud where the top 5 and like the question was like you know the thing with the top 5 answers or whatever. The question was, what's the last thing you stuck your finger in? And it was a panel, it was a black family on one side, and so Steve Harvey asked dude, he was like, what's the last thing you stuck your finger in? He was like, my wife, Steve. The nigga Steve looked like, what? He was like, yeah, good answer. He like, it's up there, Steve. He like, it's up there. Nigga Steve like, I don't know about that. He like, I don't think that was up there. He be like, all right, my wife.
Hey man, some of them crazy responses be up there though.
Hell no, but your wife though?
No, not though.
Then, but look, this is what this nigga did. He went over to the wife, and he was like, so he asked her, she was like, so what do you feel about that? She like, oh, it's okay. She like, it's okay. He like, all right, so what's the last thing you stuck your finger in? And then he looked over at her husband, and nigga was like, Steve, nope, Steve. Steve, we don't do that shit over here. And nigga Steve like, I had to make sure. And nigga like, Steve. He shut that down real quick. What was the last thing you stuck your finger in? Look at dude, he like, Steve, nope, we don't do that shit, nope. Ain't nobody sticking their finger in my ass, Steve. So yeah, Steve's a coon. I think he's funny sometimes. I don't think he's not funny, but you know, is he the funniest of the funny? No. Honestly, if they had to redo the Kings of Comedy, I would, if I had to replace one member of the cast, I would replace Steve with Robin Harris.
True.
Robin Harris is the creator of Bebe's Kids. If folks don't know who Robin Harris is, he's the brainchild behind, his comedy is the brainchild behind Bebe's Kids. Unfortunately, he passed before they had a chance to do the movie. Little known fact, Faison Love actually does the voice of Robin Harris in the Bebe's Kids movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, so shout out to Faison Love. Test 2, baby. Robin Harris was funny as shit. That nigga used to be like, he had this joke. He say, he's like, man, police pulled me over because I passed him up the other day. I couldn't believe that shit. I couldn't believe that. Police pulled me over because I passed him up. I'm talking about some, hey, well, why'd you pass me? Because I'm in a motherfucking hurry, Mr. Officer of the goddamn law. He like, then the police gonna talk about some, hey, you got any dope in the car? He said, no, I was at home with the gun. What the fuck? Robin Harris was that guy. If I know, like, it was his time to go. It was his time to go. I get it. It was his time to go. Some people are not meant to stay here forever. But I feel like Robin Harris is one of those comedians that got lost to history because he died right before he got famous. Because if he had lived when Bebe's Kids had it came out, man, he would have been straight. So, if I had a choice, I would replace Steve with Robin Harris on the original Kings of Comedy. If you had a choice to replace one cast member of the original Kings of Comedy, who would you replace it with, Becky, and why?
I'm thinking hard too.
Somebody from the early mid-90s who's funny as shit but never gets their recognition.
Because I'm thinking a lot of comedians. I'm thinking about Lavelle Crawford. I'm thinking about... I can't think of that brother. His name.
But they weren't popping back then, though. I know they did Def Comedy Jam, but they weren't popping back then.
I can't decide. It's too many. Chris Rock. Chris Rock was doing comedy back then too.
Chris Rock's an interesting one.
I think he would have put a whole new, like a different spin on it. And I heard that they were going to do Kings of Comedy too. But then Bernie Mac had passed away, so I guess they decided not to do it.
I doubt it, because Steve used to hate on Bernie.
Yes, he did.
That's what Corey Holcomb said. Everybody in Chicago knew that the nigga used to hate on Bernie Mac. Bernie Mac was that dude. He was helping people out.
And it's sad because it's one of those scenes where it's like Bernie Mac wasn't even tripping off of that. Like, he just wanted to do it because he loved comedy. And comedy is such a cutthroat business. And it's one of those things where you got some people that I feel like...
Steal jokes like Amy Schumer.
Yep, and I feel like to a certain degree, Steve knew that Bernie Mac was better than him. And he may have been concerned because Bernie Mac was better than him.
Come on, man. You know where your homeboy ball better than you, nigga.
So you gonna hate on him. Because you want to say you want to win.
You shouldn't.
You want everybody. You want to win. Steve Harvey is he seems like a very selfish, very arrogant person. And not in a good way. Because everybody has a level of arrogance to themselves. But he just seems really selfish. In a sense. I'm surprised him and Cocaine Marjorie still together.
Yeah, they ain't never getting divorced. Not until Cocaine Marjorie decides it is so. Because she's actually the one who kept Steve in his career.
True.
Because Steve was wearing them old loud, long-ass, oversized suits with that box. She like, look, baby, we're going to get you some tailored suits. We're going to cut off your box. We're going to trim your mustache a little bit. Boom.
Yeah, She the one who really helped his career.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did. Let me see. Let me see. Okay. I think what we can do here, Rebecca, we are at an hour and a half. Do you want to go in on the social benefits of being raised in the 90s? Offset from the Migos saying that he does not vibe with queers, or Amazon slavery gets shit done?
Migos get enough attention. I want to just talk about the whole Amazon thing.
Okay, Rebecca, tell the people what happened with Amazon.
Well, see, David, what happened with Amazon was...
What happened was Amazon... No, go ahead. Basically, what happened was Amazon didn't give Monique that $2 million that was promised, and so she went to Netflix, and Netflix offered her $500,000, and then when she went back to Amazon to get that Prime Video, no. She's like, I'm coming out to boycott Amazon Prime. Brothers and sisters, please stand with me as we boycott Amazon Prime.
Yeah, I'm not going with you all this. But what ended up happening with Amazon was they are a seller for those people who have just been sticking under a rock and may not know. But they are a seller like eBay, and not only does Amazon have their own warehouse that they sell things out of, other people are allowed to sell things on Amazon just like eBay. Well, somebody decided it was a wonderful idea to sell these shirts that said, shirts and coffee mugs that said, slavery gets shit done. Some of the shirts and mugs just had those words. Some of the shirts had pyramids on them. Some of the other shirts had pyramids and camels on them with the words and all that, etc., etc. Well, when Amazon found out, they immediately pulled all those items and sellers off their site and have since deleted and or blocked those accounts because it said it does not coincide with their business practices. So those sellers are no longer allowed to sell on their site. A lot of people was up in arms about it. Amazon wasn't aware at first, and then when they found out, they got it pulled. So that's that.
Mm-hmm. Sounds exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
a lot of people was upset about it. Some people even got into arguments about it because of differences of opinions. But people were initially calling folks to boycott Amazon, but they quickly rectified the problem. So there's that.
You see, brothers and sisters, Amazon is like the flea markets. Stay with me now. Stay with me. You see, Amazon merely provides the place in order for people to sell their products. But Amazon does not know if them Africans are selling them fake Jordans over there. And that ain't no disrespect to the Africans, but y'all know when that flea market on Rock Road was open, y'all know them Africans used to sell them fake Jordans. Them fake Air Force Ones, we know. Nigga be like, yeah, nigga, I just got these new Jordans. And where you get them at? The flea market, nigga get extra quiet. Man, them ain't no real Jordans. Yeah, but slavery gets shit done. Well, slavery absolutely does get shit done. We ain't giving nobody the option of doing anything else. I mean, obviously, if you force an elephant into slavery, the elephant is going to work its ass off until it literally falls. And it has happened. They have worked elephants until they literally died. So, yeah, slavery obviously gets shit done. Now, for the young lady who said that she feels that these shirts are not as offensive as the H&M Coolest Monkey in the Jungle shirts, you need to reevaluate your life and see what you are doing wrong, because if you think that this is less offensive than the Coolest Monkey in the Jungle shirt, then you got the game twisted. Clearly, a shirt with pyramids and camels and sphinxes and shit that says slavery gets shit done. It's bad enough when the shirt just says slavery gets shit done. That would be, I'm not even going to say that would be right on par with the Coolest Monkey in the Jungle, because there's a difference. The Coolest Monkey in the Jungle is like dog whistle politics. That's basically what it is. It's using codifying language in order to diss black people. So, for those of you who don't know, and I think this would be a good teaching opportunity here. For those of you who don't know, there's a thing that is called the Southern Strategy. And I'm not exactly sure who came up with it, but the first person to actually speak on it was a man by the name of, what was dude's name? Lee. Damn it, what's his name? Lee Atwater. His name was Lee Atwater. He used to work for the Nixon administration. And what it is, he has this thing, it's called the Southern Strategy. It's basically codified white supremacy talk. And he's actually in a room full of like white reporters, white journalists, and he's basically going all the way off code. And some white journalists decide to record this like minute and a half, 2-minute audio clip of dude giving other white supremacists the game. So the Southern Strategy is this. He says, basically, you can all go look this up on YouTube. I suggest you look this up if you think that white people do not talk bad about you to your face and you never even know it. So he says, he's like, yeah, 1948. You could say nigger, 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 and it would actually help your platform. He's like, now you can't do that. That hurts you. You can't say nigger, nigger, nigger. That hurts you. You have to say stuff like states' rights, forced busing. It's called dog whistle politics. Okay. I don't know if anybody knew that, but I'm here. Huh?
Yeah, I think we talked about it before.
Right. I know me and you have talked about it, but a lot of people don't know about it. I have mentioned it when I speak to the family, because, you know, I do the church thing, and we use our church to teach black liberation theology using the Bible. Now, a lot of people want to throw the Bible away. I ain't no Bible-toting, Bible-thumping, Jesus Christ superstar dude, but again, there's positive and negative in everything. The Bible's no different. It's positive in there, it's negative in there. And I was speaking to the family about something. It might have been Queen and Zinga. It might have been the Four Queen lecture I did last year for Black History Month. I think I was talking about how when Queen and Zinga met with, I forget what his name is. His name's De Souza. He was a Portuguese, like, governor of, I think, the largest city in Angola during that time. And she comes in to talk peace with the dude. And he's literally sitting in a chair. And there's literally no chair for her to sit on. Well, for those who don't understand nonverbal communication, it's like, 85% of all verbal communication is all communication is nonverbal. Well, it's a sign of disrespect to look down on someone in negotiations. So she basically comes in looking to talk peace negotiations with this Portuguese governor, and he disrespects her by basically having a rug for her to sit on while he sits in the chair. She didn't go for it. She actually commanded her servant to kneel on all fours so she can look that little racist Portuguese motherfucker in the eye until the negotiations was over. That's royalty. So I think I made reference something like that. That's like, I don't know. That's not necessarily dog whistle politics, but when they say like states' rights, force busing, they call you a thug, they call you a criminal, Black Lives Matter, those are dog whistles. When Trump says that, back in the day, those guys would be carried out in a stretcher, that's a dog whistle. And dog whistle politics, and it comes from the base of a dog whistle. When you blow a dog whistle, this is how humans whistle. Humans can whistle like that. Dog whistles you don't hear because the noise is so high pitched that our human ears can't pick up on it. But dog ears, which are way more sensitive than ours, their hearing picks up on it. So when you blow the dog whistle, your dog hears it and they know it's time to come back. Try to reel it in. So when Trump says stuff like, we're going to build this wall and all Mexicans are rapists and criminals, those are dog whistles. So you have to understand that slavery gets shit done. That's a dog whistle to all these white supremacists to say, hey, we need to put these niggas back in slavery. And you can't get no more prejudice than shirts that says slavery gets shit done with pyramids and a camel on the background. And as far as like me and old Gail is concerned, I wasn't planning on calling her a coon at first. I just simply asked a question. She's like, well, I don't really think it's that bad, and it's not as bad as the H&M shirts, and and then she tried to say, well, white people slaves too. That's what sent my my red flags up. White people are slaves too. So it's not that bad because white people are slaves too? Okay, all right. So I simply asked her, so what about the camels and the pyramids in the background? And she got mad, called a whole attitude. You don't come for me. I come in here to state my opinion. And I don't have to answer you. I didn't ask you nothing about nothing you talking about. All I did was ask you about the pyramids and the camel on the back. since you seem to think that this is not as prejudice, or less prejudice than the coolest monkey in the jungle, since you think this is less prejudice, and then that's why I call her ABW, an angry black woman. Because you just went out and and this is why I say reading, comprehension, listening skills, all that is very important. You'd be surprised how much reading comprehension helps. You used to do it in school. If train A is traveling down the tracks eastbound at 85 miles an hour and train B is doing this and da-da-da-da, okay, that's reading comprehension. They're trying to get you to use your brain. Oh, there goes that mouse. I gotta get some more glue traps. These damn mice running amok. But ain't too much you can do about that. You know, we're in a constant battle with nature. So, especially when it gets cold, all the creatures from the outside like to come inside, and all the little crooks and crevices and crannies and stuff that they can fit in. And they'll just make themselves at home in a nice warm building. So it is what it is. Oh, there go that nigga right there.
Yeah, I just think with the situation you're on.
Oh, I'm going gang of them motherfuckers right there. I'm going gang of them motherfuckers. I'm sorry. Them niggas freaked me out. I seen one. Then 2 or 3 of them motherfuckers jumped out. I was like, oh, shit.
I think, yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm finna get that glue trap now that I know where they... Because the thing about mice is, the thing about capturing mice is you got to figure out where their walkway is. So a lot of times you can look at their feces, or if you see them, and mice don't have good sight. Mice are damn near blind. So they actually run along the wall so they can find their way around. So that's what they do. So I think they shacking up behind this bookshelf right here. Yeah, but you know. But anyways. But yeah, that shirt hella racist, dog. The shirts, the mugs, is hella racist. Now, Amazon, like I say, is just a flea market. It's just a thrift store, basically a flea market.
Oh, well, you know what? And I mean to interrupt you, to add to that, I don't think I think, like I was reading through the comments and stuff after you left, she didn't think that it was real. Because by the time Kiki posted it to her page, and by the time she went to go look on Amazon to find it, it was no longer there. The situation had happened 72 hours prior to Kiki posting it on her page.
Oh yeah, that's plenty enough time to delete that.
Kiki was like, hey, what the heck is this? And by the time she went, the girl went on Amazon to look for it, just like I did. I didn't find it because she was like, this isn't real. And then she posted a screenshot of what she found, which was just coffee mugs and shirts that says simply "gets ish done." Nothing about slavery, but it literally is just coffee mugs and bags and shirts that says "get ish done." So what I decided to do was take a little deeper research, and upon finding my research, that's when I found the articles.
Please present your findings. Please present your findings before the court. After I went and did some deeper research, and upon finding my research, that's when I found a whole crap load of articles that were 72 hours prior to what Kiki posted, saying, and the Amazon execs and the presidents and CEOs like, hey, we took it down, we saw this, blah, 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 this and that. Like, the outrage came 72 hours after that conversation happened. Like, it was literally on Amazon for like 2 days. Amazon got wind of it, took it down, and before they could take it off, people had already screenshotted it.
And then Amazon did an article. The press got a hold of it first, and then Amazon did the interview, and then that's when it started hitting social media. So all of this happened before everybody was really posting it on like Facebook and stuff like that. So I went and found those articles, and I put them in the thing, and I said, hey, sister, like, I said, this is what I found, and I basically telling her I did the same thing you did because I went looking for it too. I said, but it was originally there, they just took it off. Because her standpoint was, well, we can't be all up in the uproar. This ain't be real. People be photoshopping, blah, 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 blah. But she even admitted, and she said, I didn't go into deeper research like that. She said, I didn't look too deep in it. She said, I went to Amazon, I didn't see it. So I'm thinking her first association was, this ain't real.
Of course you didn't. Of course you didn't. But
and me knowing Kiki, I didn't think Kiki would post something that's some nonsense. So that's why I was like, and then I'm looking at the conversation that y'all had. And I said, well, let me go see if I can find something credible to show if this is or isn't real. And then when I found those articles, that's when I came back and told her what I told her. So even then, she was like, oh, yeah, I get it. She was like, yeah, I didn't even do that much research. She was like, but thank you for letting me know what the truth was.
But the thing about it is, you still deflecting from the original conversation. The original conversation didn't have shit to do with whether or not the products were real. Nothing. Didn't have nothing to do with that. Nothing at all. I asked in response to her, why are there here basically like, okay, what about the pyramids and the camels, since you don't think that this is as racist as a hoodie that says the coolest monkey in the jungle with the black kid? Like, clearly one is more racist than the other. Clearly the shirt with the pyramids is more racist. You know, niggas built the pyramids. And if aliens built the pyramids, then slavery get shit done wouldn't make no sense. Because aliens ain't finna be no slaves because they so much more technologically advanced. But it's just the whole fact that she had a whole attitude when all I did was ask her a question. And instead of trying to go back and read, you want to double down on your bullshit. Instead of trying to understand what happened, you want to double down on your bullshit. And I kept saying, like, hey, all I did was ask a question. You got mad. Now, if you don't want people to comment on your shit, don't comment on Facebook, Instagram, or any other social medias for that matter. If you don't want nobody to comment, you can't say, oh, I put this here so I can put my opinion, but that doesn't mean that you can come over here and comment. Well, yes, it does. Because this is Facebook. This is what Facebook is. It's social media, social interacting. It means I can write on it. If you don't like it, get off of Facebook. That's what I'm saying. But women feel like they don't need to be accountable for their poor, fucked up ass behavior, especially black women, which brings us to Lonnie Love. Lonnie Love. Lonnie Love.
Not Lonnie.
Lonnie. It's Lonnie. Lonnie Love. She's my Lonnie Love. No, anyways. I ain't even gonna put Bobby Brown out there like that.
I know you gonna go in, so let me just get my little tidbit out.
I'm not finna go in, nigga, because we actually not necessarily running out of time, but we are at an hour and 54, so.
I mean, it's not really, I'm not saying like go in and say so we could be on here for another hour. I'm just talking about like, yo, that girl, that video you sent me, I understood the perspective. I personally think it was a bit much. I'm not saying that she's not right. She was, in her mentality, from how I viewed it, she's not an ugly woman at all. I can't think of her name, Art Kathy or Kathy Art or something like that. She's a very beautiful woman.
Yes, she is.
She's a very beautiful woman.
She's beautiful.
But she has a perspective of, like, she's attractive and this and that, and in her world, how she views Lonnie Love is, you the chick, you the ugly fat chick. I don't know. I mean, and I'm not saying that she's wrong, because I can honestly see and understand her perspective, because that's absolutely 100% correct. You do have some group of women that they're attractive, but they have the one ugly fat friend.
Right.
But they have the one pretty but fat friend that ain't nobody checking for.
But then it's kind of also her too, because now, Rebecca, I'm sure that you were the fat friend at some point in your life. But you have always had a pretty decent sense of fashion. Like, you know, your clothes weren't super tight. They weren't super baggy. They fit and they look nice. So it's one thing to be the big girl, you know, who might not, because I mean, you know, obviously even within big girls, there's prettier big girls and then there's uglier big girls. But, you know, as a big girl, the clothes that you wear makes you look so much better. And I'm not saying that to be mean, but when you are bigger, some things don't look good on you.
That is absolutely 1,000% correct. Like, and I'll say this. I am hard on our big girls. I am hard.
I am Bonita Latina.
I'm hard on us, because I feel like, especially black women, you already have a stigma in this world against you because you're black. You already have a stigma on you against you because you big. So not only are you black and now you're black into the world, this is gonna sound harsh, but not only are you black and you fat, but you're the black, fat, angry black woman.
Speak right? On it, Precious.
Not only do you have, nigga,
speak on it, Monique.
I am nowhere near as big as Monique.
Rebecca's finna jump through that phone and choke slam the shit out of my head. Precious, nigga. You're like, nigga, I got you, Precious, right here, nigga. I got you, Precious, right here.
Precious. Oh no, I can't let myself get that.
Hey, shout out to Gabby Sittebay. Gabby is pretty. Gabby is a pretty big
girl. She lost a lot of weight. She was pretty before she lost the weight.
She did.
I'm worried about that sister, because I'm like, come on, somebody tell her.
I think
she going through.
I think she had gastric bypass.
She did, but she did what she was supposed to do. She had gastric bypass. And then she started going to the gym and got a trainer. So she didn't just have that surgery like somebody else I know, and just chose not to work out, and now your skin flapping in the wind. But that's a whole other story.
Oh, here's what's happening in your neck of the woods.
All right, literally, like, niggas flying.
Here's the skin that's flapping in your neck of the woods.
Like, bruh, but that's, I digress. So not only are you the fat, black, angry woman, or the whatever, but big people also have a stigma that they stink. And on top of that, you got on clothes that are too tight. So you fat, you black, you're already statistical. I'm not saying that we put these labels on us, but in the world, you're not only the world views you as the fat, black, angry, stanky. You know what I'm saying? You got all this stuff going on, and your clothes don't fit appropriately. I hate, and I'm not saying that you should show up in the world because of how the world sees you, but you can't get mad if you present yourself in a way and you show up in the world a certain way, and that's how they view you. You can't get mad at that. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I hate to see big girls in clothes that you know don't fit right at all. The stomach, legs, the boobs, all this. Like, there's nothing wrong with subtle sexiness, but you should not walk down the street in a dress and you look like a stuffed sausage. It doesn't make sense. Or people. And this is my last gripe. I'm going to try to make my last gripe. Those printed or mesh leggings. Big girls, can we, like, if you're going to wear some printed leggings, period, you need to wear a shirt, okay, that is a larger size shirt to cover your behind, or at least come to mid-thigh. Right. I would prefer you to not wear those, because anytime I see a big girl, it's a mesh leggings from my experience of what I have seen. And those printed, colorful leggings, they always, one, make you look bigger than what you are. Two, they don't fit right. And three, they don't fit, they don't look well. It's not dressed well. That's all I'm saying. I have a pair of leggings that I wear. Mine are all black. Matter of fact, I wore them when I did the brown bag project. When we went to the president's house, and we were actually putting the bags and lunches and all that stuff together to give out to the homeless. They called me the Black Panther, because literally they called me a Black Panther, and not because I did it on purpose, but I dressed it well. I had on a pair of black leggings. I had on some black mid-calf boots, army boots,
stripper boots. And
that black shirt that I had on when I came down there for the Corey Holcomb show before I changed it to our socially St. Louis social conscious podcast shirt.
My podcast. Okay, never mind.
That black shirt that I had on, that black shirt comes over my butt. So
and your breasts, because you know you're a big chest girl now, so you gotta provide the extra space for the shirt to cover your titties, your stomach, and your ass. Speak on it, Becky.
I'm just saying, like, stop dressing in a manner because you trying to prove to the world that you proud to be a big girl. There's nothing wrong in having pride in that. As long as, one, you're not unhealthy. Me, I don't have any health issues. I don't have diabetes, any of that. But I do have to make sure that I keep my weight in check because I don't want to have those issues. I don't want to have those issues, especially if you know it runs in your family. So my thing is, if there's nothing wrong with having pride to be a big girl or a curvy woman, but then can you at least dress appropriate? Because you helpless giving us a bad name. Okay, it's been time out for this. And the ones that say something that speak on it, you're wrong because you just told you the truth. You're body shaming me. The F are you talking about? You're body shaming you, bitch. What are you talking about?
Whoa.
There's no part of you that has respect for yourself to allow you to come outside with your stomach, booty, and all of that hanging out.
Titties, stomach,
forget everybody else. I'm just talking about the big girls. So when you get mad at me when I say, hey, sister, you got 4 butt cheeks and a pair of pants because they too small. So not only do you have the 2 booty cheeks, but the pants so tight that it created 2 extra cheeks at the top. And then you got the nerves to have on a waist shirt when you got like 4 or 5 waists because you're a big girl.
Damn.
You get mad because everybody else is complaining about these 2 butt cheeks is sticking out, and then you got the nerves to say, well, if you don't like it, don't look at it, and you're body shaming me. No, you're body shaming you. Oh. You don't have no respect for you if you allow you to come out the house and look like that.
All right, Becky, let me reel you back in because I see you going off on a tangent about how big
No,
girls
I'm
don't
done.
dress well, nigga. But
I'm done.
how do you feel about Lonnie Love, the big girl, on the show, whatever the fuck that show is,
I thought that was about the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
saying that all the good men are in jail?
Yeah, that's about the dumbest thing that I think I've heard Lonnie Love say. Legit, hands down. Because I feel like when it comes to Lonnie Love, she's always making it a point to say how she don't have a man, how she can't find a man, how she can't this and that. And it's almost like maybe the problem ain't them. Maybe it's you. Maybe because it's men out here that like big women. It's men out here that like women like Lonnie Love. There is. But maybe it's not them. It's you. I would love to sit down and talk to some of her exes and ask them what the problem was. Because she was married and she was engaged at one point. And I'm not saying it's all her fault, but I want to know why she can't keep a man. I noticed on the show that she's always, and this is going to tie together, I promise. Every time she on the show, she cries a lot. I've never seen a black woman cry this much.
She is cooning for capital, Becky. You gotta cry. Gotta cry. You got to coon for that capital.
Crying is cleansing for the soul. So this must mean that this heifer soul is dirty.
No, nigga, crying is cooning for that check on national television as a dark-skinned black man or woman.
And that could be what her case is.
You can cry. Don't get me wrong. I cry. I'm a man. I cry. Hell, I cried when me and Lisa went through that thing. I cried when my grandfather died. You know what I'm saying? I'll be watching shit on TV, and it'd be like one of the real happy emotional moments. And I'll shed a few tears, nigga. I cried at the end to set it off when everybody got killed except for Stoney. I was like, no. That shit still make me sad, goddamn. Everybody died but Stoney. Stoney survived. But, yes. So crying is not the issue. You can cry. I'm a grown-ass man, dog. I cry. It's okay. That doesn't make me less of a man because I cry. But, oh, shit. Well, so the Conscious St. Louis podcast, it seems that Rebecca has exited the building. Let me see if I can get her back online real quick. Hold, please.
Sir,
all right, we're back. We're back. I was just getting ready to call you back. That's why I had paused the recording for a split second.
No.
But yes, there's nothing wrong with crying. I think Lonnie Love has a lot of personal issues,
That's exactly
and I think the majority of her issues come from her being overweight. I am inclined to agree with Old Gail, although the way she went in on her was savage. But I kind of feel like she was telling the truth because, you know, you in your mid-30s and you're overweight. And I'm not saying, you know, overweight's a bad thing or whatever, but you are the only big girl on the panel, if I'm not mistaken.
She is.
And then Cheryl Underwood's on that other one. Okay, cool. So you the only big girl on the panel. And there's nothing wrong with being a big girl, but, you know, you more like sloppy, fat, big girl. Like, you got, like, a Noah Aja who, in weight, you would consider her a big girl because she weighed 200 pounds, but in reality, she is not shaped like she weighs. So, yeah, in weight, you would probably think that Anoa Aja is a big girl, Because you like, oh yeah, she like 205. Oh no, she a big girl, but she not.
No, she not. That
She
girl
not.
is bad.
Then you have big girls who are pretty and they dress nice. You know what I mean? They fix themselves up. They have confidence in themselves. And they at least try to eat right, do a little bit of exercise. And now I'm not saying that everybody going to be a toothpick or be skinny. Because Rebecca has never been skinny. Not since I've known. Rebecca always been the big girl.
Yep, even when I was a kid.
And I've always, ever since I was a late child, I've always been like big. So, you know, the weight chart will say that me being 269 is like morbidly obese, overweight. Yes, 269 is overweight for my body type. I need to get back down to about 230-ish. Somewhere in that 230 neighborhood. I think I was 232 at my smallest about 3 years ago. And that was cooking home cooked meals pretty much every day. I wasn't eating out fast food. I was juicing, raw juice, not juice that you get from the store. So when I say raw juice, people, I'm not talking about the juice that you get from the store. I'm talking about actual fruits and vegetables that were peeled and cut up and juiced, like I did today. I took some apples, some carrots, some oranges, and some pears, and cut them up and juiced them. It's pretty fire, I must say.
I was thinking about doing like, but I was a little nervous about doing it with vegetables. I know carrot, when you bake them, they have a natural sweetness to them.
Carrots are sweet.
Sure. I used to eat carrots raw when I was a kid. But I was nervous. I've always been nervous about juicing them. Carrots can be a bit stringy sometimes.
No. Get you a good juicer. Like, I suggest the Jack LaLanne Power Juicer. It literally gets every piece of juice that you can get out of a fruit or a vegetable. And then the rest of the pulp comes out the opposite side.
Okay, so it's not chunky, that's dope.
No. The pulp comes out on the opposite side while the juice gets separated.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, you got to put like a bowl or like a pot under the juicer so the juice can have something to drain into or whatever. But, yeah, the pulp in the Jack, and I got this from my pops, so shout out to pops. But, yeah, the Jack LaLanne Power Juicer juices the fruits and vegetables so good that the pulp literally has like no moisture in it.
So,
like when you take it out and you dump it, like all the pulp, like the pulp, the seeds, all the rest of the stuff that, you know, comes out the back end, like it's moist, but if you try to like take that and put it into a bread or a cake, you would have to add like more moisture to it because it's moist when you touch it, but like if you bake it, it's not really that moist. Because my father tried to do that one time. He was just experimenting, trying to see if he could use the pulp from the juicer to make like a bread, and the bread ended up being like really dry. And basically the conclusion we came up with is the pulp is really too dry to be able to do that, although you could, but I guess you'd probably have to make the cake more moist in order to compensate for the lack of moisture. Whatever, it doesn't matter.
right.
And I know we're running out of time here, so we will save the social benefits of being raised in the 90s for next week. But, yes, back to the subject at hand. You got chicks like Noah Aja, who seems big on the chart. She would be obese. On the white man's health chart, she would be considered obese, which she's not. Then you have big girls who actually go to the gym, work out, exercise, do whatever, try to eat right, cook home, cook meals. And then you got big girls like Lonely Love who just accepts her fate as being a big girl. I'm always going to be the big girl. Like, nah, baby, you could change that. Especially if you got money, you can hire the best private trainer that you can buy with your money. But she don't want to do that. And then you got to understand, like, when you're in front of the camera adds 10 pounds. And I didn't necessarily believe that, but one of the things CTG, Charlemagne the God, said, somebody had told him, because a few years ago, Charlemagne was actually probably about 20 pounds heavier than he is now.
He was.
It's not like he looked horrible, besides the fact he had that skin discoloration, but someone told him, like, hey, bro, you need to lose weight. I really don't think I'm doing that bad. You know, well, like, nah, bro, you don't look that good on camera, dude. The camera adds 10 pounds. So he's like, if you want to have a long career in like radio and television, he's like, I suggest, you drop about 10, 15 pounds. So Charlemagne lost weight and he looks better for it. And even he says, he's like, yeah, I understand. I do look much better on camera. Blase, blase. So I think Lonely Love is just one of those, or Lonnie Love. I don't know why I keep saying Lonnie. But Lonnie Love, I think she's just one of those chicks who accepted her fate as, I'm just a big girl and I'm always going to be big and ugly. And that's just what it is. Even though I really don't think she's that ugly, but I just think she needs to lose some weight. And I don't really watch the show that she's on, so I don't see how she's dressed. But she probably needs to dress better and pick better hairstyles. Maybe she needs to find an ethnic hairstylist versus a professional ethnic hairstystylist versus those white people who are on the show. I don't know if you're letting those white people dress you and do your hair, baby. But all she
long wigs.
Yeah.
And she has long hair. That's the bad part. She has very long hair. And she says that she showed a picture of herself on another episode where she was crying. Showed a picture of herself and with her long hair. And she said that she doesn't feel like people would take her hair as natural because it doesn't look as good as the other women.
That's because you not paying the right person to do your hair. If you got long hair like that, all you got, and I know, for all you women listening, for all you men, I know how hard it is to find a good hairstylist. I know it's hard to find a good lock technician who gonna keep you twisting your locks up for about a month. You know what I mean? It's hard to find a good barber who gonna give you a good liner without no dirty clippers. It's hard to find a good beautician who not gonna charge you an arm and leg and take all type of extra appointments during your time. I get it, but baby, you got the money to do better. And I say all this to say that I think Lonnie Love has self-esteem issues, and I think a lot of it stems from her weight. She probably had to go that motherfucker right there. I'm sorry. These damn rats keep running back and forth. Like, dude, that motherfucker right there. That's cool. I'm gonna get some glue traps. I know where they're coming in at. But yeah, like I was saying, I think she has some dark-skinned woman issues from being dark-skinned and being overweight. I think that is a double negative for her. I do feel like she needs to sort of come into her own. I don't feel as a mid 30-year-old woman that she has come into her own and accepted who she is. Like, I'm Lonnie Love, I'm a big girl, I'm this and I'm that, and I don't give a fuck. And that's one thing I can respect about Monique. Monique made y'all big girls proud to be big girls. Well, I don't know about you, but I know Monique. When Monique came out and spoke out in favor of girl, sister, honey child, honey boo boo girl, you know I'm as big as you, girl. Look, you know what's big, girl. I fucks with Monique. She was representing for all the big girls. But I think Lonnie Love has self-esteem issues. She probably has colorism issues. She probably has daddy issues. I say that because you say that all good men are in jail. And if you have self-esteem issues dealing with your weight, and you have all these colorism issues, and you say all the good men is in jail, which means you can't find a good man, which means you didn't have a good man in your life to use as an example. Because if your daddy was in your life as a good man, and I'm not sure whether he was in her life or not, but I'm just assuming, I'm just going out here on the leap of faith here. If your daddy was truly in your life, if your daddy was truly in your life as a good man, he would tell you, look, baby, you are beautiful. You could be big and you could be beautiful. You know, look, you don't have to impress nobody else. You don't have to do this. You are beautiful the way you are. Now, just because people say that you are beautiful the way you are does not mean that you don't need to lose no weight.
I think her mom was a single parent, but also she had an issue that happened to her when she did go to an audition. Long story short, she went, she did great. And it was some situation where it was like, they told her she did great, but it was an interview, that's what it was. They told her she did great, the manager did, but they said, you know, it will really be great if you could dress like such and such. Her and this girl worked at the same company, that's what it was. They worked at the same company, and she went for a promotion. She said at the time she didn't necessarily have the money because she was an engineer, and she said she didn't have the money to be able to afford certain clothes and stuff like that. And the other girl, she was always well put together, and she said that basically it hurt her feelings because the guy, basically something that somebody don't know about you hurts her feelings, because the guy didn't know that she had whatever financial issues, and from what he was thinking like, oh, he was just giving her some advice and just said, hey, you know, you do a great job and you probably would have got the job, but you know, such and such, you need to dress like that because she's so well put together and she's so well this, she's so well that. So that's why she's constantly on the stylist about making sure that her look is together. Lonnie Love cries a whole lot on that show, and it's always about some personal issue that she ain't worked through. And I really think that sister need to work on herself.
She need to. And then you need to reevaluate the kind of friends that she has in her life. Yeah. Because if your homegirls did not tell you, like, look, baby, ain't nobody checking for you because of X, Y, and Z, that's what your friends need to do. But your friends told you, oh, girl, just like old Gail. She say, oh, your friends told her, oh, girl, that look good. You look good, girl. Oh, girl, you look cute. Knowing that shit look fucked up. You motherfucker. Anyways, but I think she needs to reevaluate who she hangs around. And that all comes from her being herself. Because if Lonnie Love had more self-esteem and had more confidence in who she was and her abilities, she would be able to find more good black men. But for you to just say that there are no good black men because they all in jail, well, that's bullshit. And like old Gail was saying, she was like, okay, a lot of what could have been great men are incarcerated, But if you take into account all the females who got 4 and 5 kids, you living on WIC and welfare and Section 8, and you an ain't shit bitch, and you a gold digger, and you crazy, and da 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 da, or you trying to get a nigga trapped with a baby so you can live up off of him, and you an ain't shit bitch, it's like the level of the playing field has been evened. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of ain't shit niggas out here. There's a lot of ain't shit bitches out here. The ones who like to open up packs of instant ghetto, them's the ones that I'm talking about. Yes, but Lonnie Love, Lonnie, it's gonna be okay, baby. It's gonna be okay. Call me, hit me up on Instagram. We'll chop it up. I will help you out with your situation. I will give you some counseling for Lolo.
Wow.
I will try to help you out. I am a big person too. I am fat. I want to help you work through your issues. Lonnie Love, hit me up on Instagram. Holla at me. All right, look. I want to help you out, sister. Holla at me on the real.
On the whole Me Too side of the game.
No.
No?
No. I'm not trying to sleep with nor sexually assault Lonnie Love. Just want to put that out there. I just want to help sis work through some of her issues. So sis, hit me up. We'll talk. Okay, so anyways, before we get out of here, and like I say, we're going to have to put the social benefits of being raised in the 90s on the back burner for next week, because I think that's going to take up a good chunk of time. I think that's pretty interesting. Because I think we are the generation who has been privileged to see the changing of the guard. Our generation was the generation that got to see the beginning of computers to what they are now. Like, you know, the Nintendo to the Super Nintendo to the N64 to the GameCube to the Wii to the other thing, you know what I'm saying, to the PlayStation 1 to the PlayStation, what, fucking 5? I think 5's getting ready to come out. The PlayStation 5, the first Xbox, the Sega, the original Sega, then the Sega Dreamcast, and the Sega CD, and the Sega Saturn, and, you know, we watch computer games going from, like, Blocky, Wolfenstein, Minesweeper to niggas playing, like, shit like Call of Duty on the computer. Like, it's crazy. So, and then with, like, social issues, too. But we'll talk about that next week. But before we get out of here, and this ain't gonna take but a second, Offset from the Migos, and this is one of these things that Phoenix sent us. Phoenix, bro, what's up with these topics, man? Offset, come on, dog. I love you, dude, but Offset, for real, we're gonna deal with this, but for real. Offset, for real, bro.
That's what our fans ask for. Some people like podcasts, so.
I feel that that's my guy. That's my guy. But I really got much to say on that. But yeah, Offset says he doesn't vibe with queers. Only thing I have to say is that Offset is entitled to his opinion, and that's that. Now, the way you said it, I don't vibe with queers. Well, you got to deal with the backlash. But hey, nigga, do what you do. You from the streets. I'm pretty sure you don't give a fuck about no backlash about you saying that you don't vibe with queers. Anyway, even though the niggas do be wearing them queer looking shirts, but
his words of queer, which means weird, allegedly.
Queer, gay, weird, I don't give a fuck. Who cares, nigga? We know what you meant, nigga.
He said he didn't know that. I can't say it without laughing.
Come on.
He couldn't know that it meant gay. He just meant it as weird.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that buck dancing meant cool. Okay, cool.
Right. Exactly.
Come on, dog. You ain't gotta lie about it, nigga. Just say you don't fuck with them boys. Look, dog, I don't fuck with queers like that. And leave it at that, nigga. You ain't gotta apologize and backpedal. Yeah, they tried to make Erykah Badu backpedal. You know, you can't say none these days. But yeah, Offset saying he don't vibe with the queers. Hey, nigga, you entitled to your opinion, bro. Do you?
True.
Besides, if you a queer getting mad because someone don't mess with queers, then you need to reevaluate your queer life. I'm just saying. Rebecca?
Yes.
Do you have anything to say about these queers?
No. Doesn't pertain to me, to be honest with you.
Faggots? You got a fag. You have a fag. Cigarette. Fags and cigarette, y'all. I ain't calling nobody fags. I was asking for a cigarette. You have a fag. I could really use a fag right now. Do you have a fag?
Right.
Oh my God. But anyways, we have wrapped this podcast up just in time. We have hit a milestone, ladies and gentlemen. We have hit our first 10 episodes. So this is the Socially Conscious St. Louis podcast, episode 10, aka Socially St. Louis, aka the Obama Pair podcast, aka Instant Pack of Ghetto, aka the White Man's Webster's Dictionary, hashtag RAFG, Running Away from God, hashtag Arthur R. Quarles, and all the rest of that good stuff. But I'm your host, your benefactor, and your God to you puny creatures. I am King David, and you can reach me on the gram, The Overweight Lover. That's the letter D, OVR, WEIGHT, LVR, The Overweight Lover on the gram. And you can reach me on Facebook at Dave Landrum. You can hit me up on my personal page, Dave Landrum. I got the other page, but don't nobody really fuck with that like that. So I guess I just use that as a backup. But yeah, you can hit me up on the Facebook, Dave Landrum, and then it's got in the little parentheses, King David Landrum. Let me see here. Yeah, man, I'm gonna get some more shirts printed up sometime in the near future. Definitely gonna send you a Regis song. And that's all I'm gonna be doing this summer is just rocking our shirts. And then I want to try to come up with some designs for your stuff, like the Webster's White Man's Dictionary and some other stuff. So, but yeah, that's a little bit down the line for some other stuff. But yeah, Socially Conscious St. Louis podcast shirts. We'll be out here, man. I'm finna promote the shit out of this. And I know you niggas probably don't want no shirts because we don't have a following like that. But eventually we'll get to the point where niggas want to buy some apparel from us. So that's what we like to get to. But other than those mindless dribbles of what I call speech, that some people might call rambling on Darlene or GOT's Z side of the game, Rebecca, how can the people reach you?
Facebook at R Quarles, Instagram at this moment. It's LadyQ1502 on Instagram. Thinking about getting Snapchat, haven't done it. Probably won't. Thinking about getting Twitter though. Seriously about getting Twitter to see if I can see what's going on.
They expanded their shit to 280 characters now.
So yeah, man, that's how people can reach me.
Can they reach you in the RAFG series?
Sure. Oh man, I forgot about that, y'all. So Run Away from God is on Facebook as well. Run Away from God on Amazon. Books 1, 2, and 3 are now available. So what's on book 4?
Yes, books 1, 2, and 3 are now available. Get that shit. Book 4 is in the process. If you want to be in book 4, please send all emails to creativewritersllc@gmail.com, and I will make sure if you slide me that cash, Rebecca will write you in the book somehow, somewhere.
Yeah, y'all can pay me if y'all want to. Sorry.
I have one question, Rebecca. Is Dirty D, a.k.a. Derek Deion Wooten gonna be in your book.
No.
He gonna be the homeless nigga. So Shadow walked up to this homeless nigga and gave him $5 for some information.
Because I ain't gonna lie, I was just thinking about that. No lie, like
He gonna be that. He gonna be that homeless nigga in the streets that Shadow gives him like $20. All right, nigga, what did you see?
I know Derek in the book. I would not make him a homeless person. He's not going to be in my book, though. No. That's a definite no.
That's the only nigga I know talk like Eeyore. How's it going, Derek? Oh, well, you know. He'd be like, all right, nigga, I'll holler at you.
Sound like an old ass slave. The shit don't never go right for her. That's how I feel about that.
Man, how you doing today, Eeyore? Oh, well, I lost my tail. Oh, that sounds good, nigga. I'll holler at you later.
Damn. I was always sad and depressed.
Man. But you ain't never noticed that nobody cares?
No.
Who be eating his honey? That nigga Tigger be doing what Tiggers do. That nigga still be over there trying to tell his life story. Niggas don't even be listening to him. That's why Eeyore is depressed, because you can't get nobody to listen to him.
Tigger was trying to get laid. Winnie Pooh was just trying to get the honey.
Who was Tigger trying to get laid with?
I don't know, but that's how people associated Tigger with. They associated Tigger as the one who would try to get laid, and then it's just something that was online.
T-I-double-G-R.
Who was just trying to get the honey pot?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know it. You know it. Well, this is episode 10, and we're out. Holla at you guys next week for some more bullshit ass topics. Bye.